call the meeting to order at 6:31. I'm going to recognize Steve Lemke and Dan Zambreski, thank you both, and Ian Keel, thank you. I'm going to waive the discussion about the rules of procedure. I'd like to note that Gabby and Gordon are both out for health reasons. Gabby because she's not feeling well, and Gordon because he's taking care of a family member. Does anyone have new additions to the agenda?
Yeah, I put a new addition on there. It was, let's see. Oh, it's the Route 5. That's the Route 5 bridge update from the state.
Which will, okay.
In communications.
And may I ask, regarding the agenda, you said that there were two items that were not going to be discussed at the agenda in a late email.
That's under changes to the agenda.
We'll do changes up to the agenda order.
That's the next thing.
That's
So any new additions other than those three? I have three: newspaper of records, schedule of select board work sessions, and Route 5 bridge update from the state. And from Danny, because they're not the same.
Yeah, they're different.
Yes, they are.
Oh, they are?
I got the email today.
Okay, we'll discuss that. So, Richard, you have a change to the agenda order or something you want to?
No, I was curious about Peter's email that came late this afternoon
Yeah,
about tabling, and I didn't understand it because it seemed to have a context that.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, one of the items on there was suggested by someone else, and then I was wondering if there was anything that needed to be tabled simply because we didn't have all board members here.
Not really. I mean, we used to operate with 3.
Okay.
So we might find as we go through that we're going to table something, but.
Okay. I just want to know what that email meant.
So, are you coming up?
No.
All right, I'll take a note here. So the regular meeting of the 27th of February,
Back
we
here.
actually cannot do the minutes because we need Gordon and Gabby here, and they're not.
So it'll be tabled to next.
So we are tabling.
For 2 weeks.
Do we have a draft up on the, we have a draft of the minutes up on the website, right?
We do.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
They had been there for a month now.
All right. And then we have the minutes of March 13th, which we have enough people here to sign if I hear a motion to approve.
I have a.
You have a question?
I have a change, and then
Okay.
Harry Saxman was here, and he wasn't listed as being
Okay.
in attendance.
We'll just add that and
Yep.
thank you. Any other
Can I
additions?
ask a question about the last set of minutes?
Yes.
Gabby was elected to be vice chair, not co-chair.
Yeah, I sort of go back and forth about remembering.
Yeah, but they're
which one
entirely
it is.
different, those are entirely different statements. One vice chair means that you're the chair and she's second in command. Co-chair means you share the position, so it should be very clear that it's vice chair, not co-chair. At least I think so.
I think you're right. Co-chair.
Because when I went back and listened to and viewed the video, it said Sheila had said co-chair.
I probably did.
No, you said two things. You said, Gabby's elected vice chair, co-chair, so it just sort of floated out there, vice
Yeah.
chair. But when I saw it in the minutes, I went back and looked at the video, and it should, but the bottom line is it should be vice chair, not co-chair.
Okay.
And the
So I
minutes
think
should reflect that.
we need to amend the minutes for both of those things, because I said to Gabby, I don't remember actually if we've decided vice chair or co-chair, but it is definitely vice.
Can I ask one more question about
You
that?
may.
Absolutely.
When Veranda volunteered to be the Conservation Commission liaison, there was some discussion about Gabby stepping down, you stepping up, but then you said you had a conflict. So I don't know whether, but it says clearly in there that you're going to be, so that's not.
Well, then we
minutes
should
over.
amend it, I mean,
I think we fixed it.
I thought the minutes were amended, and actually she is on the liaison to the Recreation
Recreation.
Commission and not the Conservation Commission, which was also part of the discussion. But the minutes were amended later on.
Okay, the copy that I saw said you were gonna be Conservation Commission.
nope,
So Gabby's gonna stay on as Conservation?
That's
Yes.
correct.
yes, I mean, and it may be out of order, but later I'll tell you why we did that.
That's fine, I just,
It's not out of order, and you can discuss that because we're not going to approve these minutes either.
Oh, okay. Well, it just seemed that, I have a continuing relationship with the school, just based on my history. I've been involved with the school since the late 70s. And so it seemed to make sense that I had something more to bring to that, and Gabby had something more to bring to the Conservation Commission.
So we're going to table those minutes also?
We are, because we have two corrections to make. One is to add Harry Saxman, and the other is to change co-chair to vice chair.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve, for
Thank you, Steve.
checking on it. So the next thing on the agenda is the emergency operations plan. Every year, the town of Guilford needs to update its emergency operations plan, which looks like an 8-page document. But in reality, it's a inch-thick piece of work, which I spent talking to you as your interim emergency management director.
Oh, great.
So the plan has been updated, it was put into the folder, the basic plan, and I am working to get the addendum and the appendices and the other resources up to date. This is the main thing that FEMA wants to see. And I believe, before I ask for an amendment, a motion to approve the plan, assuming you both had a chance to review it, I do want to say that I put together a list of volunteers that I emailed, potential volunteers. Actually, Herb and I spent some time working on this whole list, and we got amazing responses.
That's great.
In the last few weeks of people who are willing to step up to the plate and take on roles in communications and public information officer and operations and just volunteers at large. And I am so impressed with this town that everybody, very few people said no. And those are people who've been doing it for 10 years. They just couldn't do it anymore. So that was really wonderful. So do I hear a motion to approve the 2017-2018 Town of Guilford Local Emergency Operations Plan?
I move such.
And I will second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. I think that's passed unanimously. Thank you. Let me see. Go back to the agenda here. Next thing is the certification of compliance, town roads and bridges. This is you.
So, once a year, the state sends out a certificate of compliance. Basically, it's just something that the select board has to state, or sign, stating that as a municipality, the town is in compliance with the town road and bridge standards that the state has set. And we'd already checked with Danny, we are, and so just basically this is the formal process of you as a select board saying that you have confirmed with Danny, our road commissioner, that this is true, and that is that.
So we are the town of Guilford. We further certify that our adopted standards do or do not meet. Do. We further certify that we do or do not have an up-to-date highway network inventory.
We do.
We do. Which identifies location, size, deficiencies, conditions of roads, blah, bridges, blah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, town of Guilford. Do I hear a motion to pass the certificate?
So moved.
And I second, and I wanted to commend Danny. Part of my training was going to a workshop on all of the new road regulations, and my heart goes out to you.
It's gonna get worse.
That's for your signature, Veranda.
What is this?
This is the second word. So we had, this
can I use your pen
is,
for a
was
second?
from our meeting with the Agency of Transportation last week, and this is just a second portion of that. So they review what part of the meeting was about is the Agency of Transportation reviews our annual finances after we have passed the budget at town meeting to estimate a number of different things. One of which is that should we have another emergent or event like Irene, for example, that what they do is, I mean, you can explain a little bit better than me.
Well, it goes by how much damage you have. And what it does is tells us if we meet a certain amount of damage, our portion of it is like $30,000. So then we're more eligible for FEMA funding.
Higher level.
A higher
funding
level
for
of,
FEMA.
yeah.
But this
Well,
doesn't
as-
say this. This is- says that we raise municipal taxes equivalent to or greater than $300 for each mile of class 1, 2, and 3 roads.
Yeah, it tells you what you're getting.
Yep. And so
That figures out what we get for state aid.
yep.
There should be, what, been roughly about 140, 42, somewhere in that area, a year. I should say on there.
Yeah, so this is,
It just doesn't,
well, we've got two different things here. And then this is based off of this amount that we charge, or that we raise for taxes, also then determines the amount of funding that we get from the state for the highway department each year.
town tax funds are $778,000. So that is more than $300 a mile.
That's correct. So if we have to, you guys are certifying that it's a minimum of $300 per mile.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we were clear on that.
Yep.
Thank you. So do I hear a motion to adopt the
So
annual
moved.
financial plan for town highways?
So moved.
Thank you.
Yes, I
He's
second.
really on the, oh, so moved tonight.
Oh,
All in
he's
favor?
on the move.
Aye.
Yeah.
Sheila, did you have a vote on the first one?
You know,
Yes,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yes,
Yes, we did.
Richard moved.
And
And
did
I
I call for a
second.
And
vote?
Veranda,
Yes.
yes, you called for a
Okay.
vote. Richard moved, Veranda seconded. It's okay. It's
Miranda?
better to ask than to miss it. So,
Miranda?
thank you, Ian.
The VTrans annual financial plan for the town highways, and that is what Peter was just talking about, that this allows the state to estimate how much we would be eligible for in terms of FEMA
That's correct. Yes,
funding
please.
in case of an emergency.
That's great.
And that just, we need to, we don't
That's,
have to
it's
adopt it.
informational. It was done during the same meeting. There's nothing to be adopted. It's simply informational for you as a board as well as for town residents.
Is that on the website?
Um,
On the town's website?
No,
no, this is not something that we put.
it's just something that we put in the file in case of
Okay.
an emergency.
Emergency, yeah. So,
So our total expenses are estimated to be $924,563. And they have decided that we're eligible for the maximum amount of funding
Yep.
based on that.
that's correct.
Cleaning the town office.
So I recently had a conversation with Penny, and for a number of years, quite a number of years, in fact, Penny and Pete have been the ones that have been regularly cleaning the town office, which currently is not within their job description, but they've been doing so because we don't currently have anyone to do so. The town has recently hired Leah Moore to clean the library on a very part-time basis, and Penny was concerned that the amount of cleaning that needs to be done in the office takes away from the amount of time that they have to actually do their job. And she wanted to present the idea to the select board of potentially hiring Leah as well on a part-time basis to clean the town office on the same day that she cleans the library. And she did speak with Leah, and Leah would be interested in doing so on a part-time basis if that was something that you would entertain for her to do.
And did they come up with a budget line from which to pay for that?
No, because we are not at the present time, we have not looked into that, because we are unsure as to whether or not the select board would entertain the idea. If it is an idea that you're willing to entertain, then we can find a budget line that it could potentially come out of, my guess is it would come out of the building repair and maintenance line or the maintenance and grounds line, one of the two. But we would also have to confirm for sure with Leah if this is something that she would do.
So I think, any discussion?
I would go for having the town, someone cleaning the building who was not stopping the other business of the building.
I mean, it's not in their job description to do it, and,
Sorry.
and it just seems to me that, you know, I don't have a sense of how many hours of work it would be, but we don't want them not being able to do their jobs.
So, just to answer your question, Penny estimated it would be approximately 2 to 3 hours per week,
At a cost of?
$15 an hour.
I think that's very moderate.
I think it's very moderate too. I think that we need to have a motion that says, could the town hire a cleaning person at $30 a week, approximately?
So moved.
No, because, and that it should come out of this budget line, and we haven't got the figures, so.
No, we don't have the
I
details.
mean, I think it makes sense to have somebody clean the office. I can't believe they've been doing it of their own free will for so long, and it definitely needs to be done professionally.
So it would involve vacuuming, cleaning of the restroom, hauling of the trash, hauling of the recycling, both of which go over to the school, which they're very gracious to take for us. But, so it was put on the agenda for a discussion. If this is something that you would like to entertain, I can put the details together and present it to you at another board meeting.
Please do.
Yes, I think the sense of this board, you know, those present, is that we would welcome a proposal.
Totally.
Okay, I will do that for the next meeting.
Excuse me. Steve Lemke, you are up for a river corridor bylaw update. Sorry.
I am up for that. I'll make this quick. I'm pleased to say that the final copy has been approved by the Wyndham Regional Commission, the State Agency of Natural Resources, and the State Department of Environmental Conservation. And that means that they've gone through their checklist. I mean, looking at our regulation, the language has to be scripted and match, and you can't just put a regulation together out of thin air. It's whenever we're ready to do it, then it is the copy that I gave to Richard and to Miranda is now ready, and the one that was sent previously to the select board that you reviewed is now ready to be posted whenever we want to on the town website and or in prominent places around town. So my suggestion for your edification is that we now look to hold a public meeting on Wednesday, April 26th at 6 to 7:30 to be held either here at the town office or at a venue to be named. The only reason we don't have a venue at this point is that I have to speculate to some degree how many people might show up. This is, we could get, if we get 25 or 30, this facility would probably be fine. If we get 50, then it's going to be sort of difficult. So I need to get a little counsel from Wyndham Regional on what they typically get, in a situation like this. So at some point you need to say whether or not you approve of that next plan to look toward warning a public meeting for Wednesday, the 26th of April, between 6 and 7. I don't think it'll take from 6 to 7:30, but Wyndham Regional said that you should probably allow that much time for people to show up and leave and talk to each other and stuff. So I don't know whether you want to stop now and talk about that or you want to hear the rest of this.
Go ahead.
So Richard and Veranda, I think you need to be brought up to speed either on your own, with individual meetings with me, or as a joint meeting with the two of you, me, the rest of the select board, and some people from the state or Wyndham Regional. Now, most of the time that I've talked to John Broker Campbell and the people who's the state certified flood. Anyway, he's a certified person to do what I'm supposed to do in this region. Will come down for a meeting, and Sheila, you and I discussed briefly the possibility of doing something at some future workshop or something like that. So we can do it, again, you can do it on your own by watching the past meetings and listening to the questions. You can sit with me individually or together, or we can have a meeting at that. And then I need to know that a reasonable selection of select board members and within reason, the Planning Commission and the Conservation Commission can make the Wednesday 26th meeting. I'm gonna get people from the state to come and when the regional to come. It would be unfortunate not to have any select board members there, for example, or
I
something else.
can come, I mean, I'm not yet up to speed on it.
No, that's
but
okay.
it's
You'll
a
be-
date I can
You'll be
do.
ready for prime time at that point, but, just so people can do it.
Steve, I can send out an email to make sure that the 2 different commissions as well as board members can make
You
it.
probably have I know you've done it to this, we've done it to the select board. Richard said he's gonna make it. I'm making it, you're making it, Miranda's making it.
Yeah, as long as we have the town and Peter.
The April
and
26th meeting.
Yeah,
Yes.
And the 3 of you, that's fine,
I don't know,
And-
have you heard from Gordon or Gabby?
Not yet.
No.
No.
But as long as we have this group, unless something comes up, of course. And then I can send something out to Michelle and to Linda, Michelle Forsee and Linda Hecker and just say, this is
Okay.
when the meeting's gonna be.
Okay,
If
sure.
you want to, it would probably be good if
I was
somebody.
just offering to help facilitate,
Right.
but if you want to, go ahead.
Okay. And then once the public meeting is held, we'll take the commentary, obviously, and bring it back, bring the result back for either changes, total abandonment, or then moving for adoption. And Peter, I think the most important thing for you to do at the public meeting is to be conversant with the process for adoption. Because if somebody stands up and says, so what happens now? That you're able to say, okay, the town statute says this is how it comes back before the select board. It's a simple majority or unanimous or whatever it has to be,
Yep.
so that you're conversant with that. And then at that point, it's either in place or over with, one of the two.
Okay.
So, first of all, thank you. I am in awe of all of the work you've done on this. And I think it's pretty tremendous. So that was number 1. Number 2, in terms of a select board workshop, we have to, so that is one of the new additions, which we actually didn't get to. So, the next thing we'll talk about is the select board workshop. Number 3, I think you're gonna take care of the planning commission and the conservation commission, and we will take care of the select board. And what about reserving a place? You're gonna get back to Peter on,
I mean, I have tentatively reserved this room, but that's pending Steve's inquiry
I'm gonna
with
find
Wyndham
out
Regional.
a reasonable estimate from people who've done more of these than I have, and then if they say we might get 50 people, I mean, it doesn't, I think I explained to you in an email, it doesn't take long for just the people in this room, if the entire select board shows up, three members of the planning commission, 3 members of the conservation commission, it doesn't take long to get up to 15 or 20 people just from the people who I'm gonna bring along and stuff too. So, if we get 10 or 15 people from the town, we're fine in this room, but, more than that, I just don't want people to feel like they're,
yeah.
have to stand
I
up
mean,
all
it's
night.
better to have this room reserved for the
Right,
time
correct.
being
Right.
and have to change than to
Right.
need this room and it's not available.
So by the end of this week, I'll be back to you, Peter, with either a change of venue or confirmation.
Great.
Okay.
So, and will you send out a reminder to the entire select board about, I think you did already, didn't you?
I did already, but I can do it again.
We have 2 people that we haven't heard from, I think.
You
so.
mean about the 26th?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
So am I hearing that generally this group is in favor of the process that I just outlined? That
Yes.
Yes.
We have the copy, we'll warn the meeting, we'll post it, we'll put it on the website, we'll post it in the 3 places around town that are, 4 places around town that are typically it. Then we'll have a representative sampling of officials and the town to come back, and then move on to adoption or abandonment.
Yep. And once things are confirmed, I'll warn the meeting for you.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to insert in the old business here the schedule of the select board work sessions, which we did talk about it some. We talked about it with Gabby, who has the most, next to you, maybe the most limited availability. And Gabby said Thursday or Friday?
She said either one. I think she was leaning more towards Thursday.
Which
So-
Thursday?
Thursday mornings.
Thursday mornings.
Sorry. Can you talk about?
Yep, absolutely. So, in the past, the select board has put together, after town meeting has passed, has put together a series of warned select board meeting times. And so, and it's varied in the past, so we were thinking about doing them every other week.
Okay.
1 day a week or 1 to 2 hours.
Okay.
These are topic workshops.
Yeah,
Yes.
just learning. Like
some-
and sometimes we have to like get into the meat of something, like when we do the budget.
Yep,
So-
so they'll happen throughout various points of the
Okay.
year. Some of it will be informational, so everyone's on the same page. Some of it will be educational, and some of it will be to have deeper discussions about specific topics. So you all are better prepared when we have these meetings.
Sure.
And so, based on other input, it was tentatively going to be every other week on Thursdays at 7:30 in the morning.
Do I remember 7:15?
Or 7:15.
Is that what she? I mean, I'm happier to have 7:30, but I thought she was
I thought the
saying-
discussion was 7:30.
Okay, that's good. So Steve, if we do the first one, do you have somebody coming from the state? Do you think they could make it at 7:30?
When is the first one?
We'll decide, but.
Well,
No, I think, people's enthusiasm wanes a little bit when they're actually called to come at some place, for an hour drive, for an hour and a half drive,
Exactly.
7:15. But, yes, I would definitely say either I and others could make a 7:15 or 7:30 meeting to go over this. I think that's important,
Okay,
between now and the 26th.
so we could warn it for the 2 weeks from now? 2 weeks from Thursday?
Let's see, so 2 weeks from Thursday would be the 13th?
So that's just after another select board meeting.
I could do it that Thursday.
No,
Well, let's see, this coming Thursday.
no, it's April 6th.
Oh, April 6th.
Today's the 27th.
Oh,
2
sorry,
weeks
you're
from
right.
now.
Oh, okay.
April
Right.
6th at 7.
That's,
Today's the 27th.
the 6th is 1 week from,
Saturday's the first.
I'm talking, well, I'm suggesting the 6th.
okay?
Which is, we have enough time to warn it and.
Yes, we
is
do.
that- And I think that will give you enough time to organize that particular one, Steve?
So the first one is a week from this coming Thursday.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
that's about the-
7:15 or 7:30?
That's gonna be on the floodplain.
7:30. And so we would, so before we make this official, I just want to say that River Corridor bylaws is the most important one to get done soon. We also have to have some in-depth discussions about Wyndham Solid Waste and how to understand our obligations and what's happening. Peter's gonna go to a meeting tomorrow night that Wyndham Regional Commission is doing and report back to us. Cheryl needs to report to us on a meeting of the loan of last week. We haven't got that, but we have to decide by September 17th what we as a town are gonna do and what's happening, if we're gonna stay in the district or not. And so we need to do some studying of that, and that would be a second select board work session topic. A third one would be an open meeting law seminar, and that's gonna be a little bit longer and might be a little later than, I don't think. At
That
7:30.
one, are you talking about the training?
Yeah.
That's actually gonna be an evening training. It's gonna be from 5 until 7:30 in the evening.
Okay.
That's the only time that he could make
Okay.
it.
So
What date is that?
That was the email that I sent out to you. Let's just need to get to the correct month. That is the one that is going to happen in May 31st at from 5 to 7:30 p.m. And I've already received enough responses.
Okay,
I
let
have it in
me
my
just.
calendar.
yeah,
I have it at 6:30 for some reason, but
Which,
it's,
could you just repeat which date that is?
Wednesday, May 31st from
Okay.
5 until 7:30. That's going to be the open meeting law training, and that will be warned and everything as
Yeah.
well.
So I mean, we're gonna just warn that in general, it's gonna be every 2 weeks at 7:30 on a Thursday morning. And
With that being the exception.
with that being the exception, and the tentative agenda for each workshop will be posted as well in advance. I don't think we need a motion for this. I think it's just an information thing.
Okay,
Yep.
and I have a question. Is the meeting, the work meeting about the open meeting law, is that for all groups in town to come and just get up to speed on that?
Yes, that is correct.
People who have,
Yes, I approached our cemetery commission about getting into compliance.
Excellent.
excellent.
So yes, so that meeting, at minimum, that meeting is open to all select board members as well as members of all town commissions. We are having the training session is being taught by a gentleman called Jim Barlow. He's a former attorney for BLCT. He helped craft the open meeting law when it came into place, and he now is a private attorney that focuses on municipal law within Vermont.
Yeah, well, I
So
went to
is that the, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little mixed up with all these dates. Wednesday, May 31st, is that the open meeting law?
That is correct.
Can I request that you send a list of dates that we've just discussed? I think it would be good for
Absolutely.
the select persons who are not here, as well as
Yep.
myself, for sure.
Absolutely,
Okay. The dates and times,
Yep.
and the subject of the meeting.
absolutely.
And then those will be warned as well for other people who are interested to attend.
So the 31st is the open meeting law, I just want to
Yep,
put that in.
that is correct.
That's a long one. So, I think we're set on that. The next item on the agenda is to discuss the newspaper of record, and I'm wondering if we should, sorry,
Did you decide that the 6th would be the time you're gonna do the floodplain?
Seven-
That's correct.
Okay.
That's,
that's our first one,
I'll put
yeah.
out some notices to that effect. If they can't do that, then I'll come right back to you and say, could we do the 20th?
Okay,
sure.
Okay, because those are the only two dates that are there between now and the
Yeah.
time of the
Yep.
vote. I mean, time of the public meeting.
and we
That's a
wanna,
7:30 a.m. meeting.
we wanna make sure that Gordon is here for that,
Sure.
and Gabby, I think for
You
that.
know, I'll just interject this because you're talking about the open meeting law. You know, has the town ever considered buying a conference phone so that, you know, like tonight, you could have, if somebody's not too tied up doing what they're doing, they can still participate in the meeting? Because Vermont open meeting laws are decidedly different than New Hampshire, for example, but you could have a conference call and make your quorum.
We've actually done that. We just pulled the speakerphone over.
Yeah, we can do conference
So
calls
you
on the
can,
phone.
yeah.
Yes, we do have that
Yeah.
capability.
I've done it once and twice. It's horrible.
Yeah.
You just have no idea whether you should be interjecting something, but we've done it a couple times, right?
The two members who are not present just were not able to do that either.
Anything else on the schedule of select board work sessions? You
Are
want-
there any
So generous
others
with your time.
in the pipeline?
I know we're gonna do budget in the fall, and
Okay.
there'll probably be a couple, we'll think, people will think of things that they wanna know or understand better, as things come up. So we'll just sort of hold the time, warn it in general, and then put a notice up if we're not going to have it. So-
Okay,
And you do minutes, but you don't record, right?
Right.
Yeah, we do take minutes, but we don't video it.
I'm going to recommend that we table newspaper of record and other channels for conveying information and being transparent until our next meeting. Any objection? I'm also going to recommend that we table Vermont State Police versus Wyndham County Sheriff's Department contract proposals until our next meeting. And I'm going to say that there is no report on the Wyndham Solid Waste Management loan decision. I have not heard from Cheryl.
oh, right, that was
But-
quite something.
That doesn't, I'm not sure how that would impact us anyways. So, discussion and updates. Update on the Route 5 Bridge Project meeting.
Is that the one for Danny?
Yeah, well, Danny reported on it, and then Jill sent us an email today.
I was wrong on the dates.
You were.
Yeah, I went to that meeting last Friday,
Yep.
and what it was all the governing body, who's gonna be involved, the contractor, and what different agencies, and getting things lined up. It was like a pre-construction meeting. There's gonna be a meeting down at the church, May 25th. It's gonna be in the night, like 6 o'clock at night, if I believe I'm right.
Yep, that's correct.
It's gonna be an informational meeting on explaining what's gonna happen and everything's going on, and they're gonna be doing some work down there soon. They'll be setting up their sign packages and they'll be getting ready. They're gonna build a bridge, as far as I know, on site, right there on the church lawn. And then just move it from there down. The date that they're gonna start construction is gonna be July 10th, is the email I got today. They're gonna wait until after the holiday. And it's gonna be a 28 day closure, so. And there'll be some more stuff coming out on it. On the 25th, everybody will know what's going on, so. We decided to close the Broad Brook Road down, just residents only. Because on this end of the bridge, there's gonna be a pretty good sized cut. We're starting down off the Route 5 side, so everybody's gonna have to come in through Vernon. And it'll be just residents and emergency personnel only, so. And that's basically what it was all, just meeting everybody and any concerns or questions, and that was about it, so.
So to amplify on that, VTrans expects utility work to be done by the end of March. On March 30th, they're gonna start cutting trees. And that will take 2 days and require at times alternating one-way traffic, and there will be flaggers. Then Danny talked about the meeting on May 25th at Guilford Community Church. There will be a website that we can put on our website that talks about information on, that will pass information on the project on to the public. So that is what we've heard today from,
And everything that was discussed on Friday, we're gonna get a copy of everything, the contact people and everything of the whole meeting, so.
Could I offer one question to ask at some point, thinking back to the Green River Covered Bridge and when it was actually gonna be open, and so if the 28 day closure is a lock or an estimate, so, and if it's a lock, is there a penalty, if it's not open,
Yeah, there
after?
is.
So we can actually answer that question right now, because we had a meeting with the Agency of Transportation, I wanna say 6 weeks ago now. And yes, the 28 days is a lock, and yes, there is a penalty on the contractor if it is not open after that 28 days.
I think that just helps clear it up when
Yep.
they say, no, it's not gonna happen.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, it is set in stone, and the state did reassure us that in the 15 years that they have been having the penalty in place, that they have not had a project
Wow.
not completed on time.
Amazing.
Yep,
Coincidence.
That includes the Route 91 bridge?
that is, I also don't believe that that's a fully, related project.
might be
Because
federal, state.
That's a federal and
I
state
get it,
project.
It's a
But this is on state roads
Right.
that in 15 years that has never happened.
It's pretty good.
Wow, that's impressive.
So they are very confident, and they have worked with Renault Brothers before, and they were very confident that it should go very well. But great question, Steve.
Any more discussion? Route 5? Next on the agenda is the backhoe and excavator prices for the highway department.
Are we going to
I
table
think
this?
we might table it, Danny, because we don't have 3 estimates and we haven't done the cost
Well,
comparison.
that was the only one that was
Yeah.
around. I'm gonna have another one coming in Wednesday.
So,
All that is just a little budget information to get you,
right,
so we know what roughly
Right.
we're doing.
so I think,
'Cause-
I had asked for Peter to work with you on a, sort of a comparison, a cost comparison. Do it. One pay.
That's nothing set in stone. I mean, when you go to bid, I mean,
Right,
when they get sharpening their pencils, I mean, it'll be different, but that gives you some idea what we're looking at,
mhm.
so.
So we, because of our purchase ordinance, we need to have 3 quotes. We need
All
to
that
do,
is just to-
yeah,
just to
an
give you
estimate.
idea.
We need to have, and then I'm looking for a comparison between continuing to rent versus purchase, and purchase all in one time versus paying out over 5 years. And we have the basis for some of that information, but it's not complete, so I think that will be, we'll discuss that when you get more information. How soon do you think you need this backhoe, and how long will it take to get it?
Excavator.
Yes.
Sorry, excavator. Some big,
I know a couple of them got them sitting on the lot.
Okay.
I mean, right now, we can't do much anyways.
I know.
So, I mean, even grading roads, we really can't do much until they thaw out and dry up a little bit. There's still, this rain is making them potholey right now. But I was riding around today and there's still a lot of places that still froze, so. And we ain't gonna be able to do nothing for, I'm hoping for some good weather to,
Me too.
yeah. So,
Thank you. There are two just sort of updates. Veranda, Peter, Gabby, and I, am I forgetting anybody? Went to the local leadership and economic development conference in Montpelier, and Ellie,
Yes.
on Wednesday of last week, and there was some good information, some good contacts, some good leads, and the first presentation was excellent. Now I've totally forgotten what the topic was, but I remember thinking that it's really useful. I'll tell you in a minute. It was Vermont Futures presenting on models for economic viability and sustainability, and they had some good things some good models for us to work on, and maybe we can actually even work with Jeanette. Forgot her name.
White.
No. Jennifer of
Jennifer.
Vermont.
Oh,
Jennifer
yes.
Stromson, who was the person who presented
At town.
at town meeting in the Sevens, and we talked about having her come here and do working with us on leadership, economic development in Guilford. The rest of it was the rest of the conference was I had two strong feelings about it. One was that it was more focused on larger communities and even larger rural communities than ours, as opposed to rural communities. And the second is that the elephant in the room was there was absolutely no discussion of the need to invest in fiber optics. And where we don't have any industry or in Guilford, what we probably need to have, and what most of the state needs to have in order to really grow economically, is access to internet.
So people can work in their
So
homes.
they did not discuss that at all, because there's no money at the federal or the state level to invest in that kind of infrastructure, which is something that we've actually talked to Wyndham Regional Council about as well. So there's my little soapbox. And Veranda went to the Spring Select Board Institute. Did you want to?
Oh, yes,
tell us?
well, I can talk about, the main thing that I was charged with doing was going to the quasi-judicial proceedings for select boards. And so it was a presentation about how best to receive people who come with problems to the select board. And I don't know how long a report you want. But, I mean, the major recommendations for, from the presentation were that the people who come before the select board be respectfully and carefully informed about what our procedures are, preferably in writing as well as verbally, and that they be treated with patience, and that the reality of it is that a select board would let the aggrieved person really speak his or her mind for as long as they needed to within reason and as long as their presentation was civil. And that I mean, there were a tremendous amount of detail. We were able to pause for our own discussion. We were not obliged to come back with a decision for the person in that same meeting, but that you know, the person would leave the hearing having received a full hearing from us, and then we would tell the person when they would get a response from us. And there was an entire PowerPoint about it that had a great deal more detail.
And I'm imagining that they will make that available to the select board, usually the workshop
Yes, I
materials.
gave all
She
of the
forwarded that to me.
materials
So that's good to know.
to Peter as
Yep.
soon as I came back. But, I mean, what was fascinating was the bigger picture of how the select board sometimes has quasi-legislative responsibilities, quasi-executive responsibilities, and quasi-judicial responsibilities. And, you know, the details about, you know, these categories were all very clearly spelled out. But it seemed like that the main takeaways were that we needed to be professional and compassionate and clear. I guess professional is clear.
Thank you.
Explicitly, but
I mean, I don't know whether that was worth an entire day's worth of illumination, but if you want more detail, or if
So-
you have questions.
No, I think, first of all, I think it would be helpful, so we do have the rules of procedure, which ask that people keep their comments or presentations to 10 minutes, unless we've arranged otherwise, just so that we can keep the meeting moving. And in general, how the public and the select board interact.
Yes,
So I think
and so if you wanted me just to peel out that one workshop PowerPoint and send it to everybody so it could be amplified, I
I
have
think
it.
that would be I think if people want to pay attention to it, that would be a good thing
Sure.
to have as a
Yeah, I
reference.
have it in my machine. I'll look for it.
Thank you. Any questions about that? Thank you, Miranda. Highway update.
That's what I said. Winter don't want to give up.
You,
Yeah.
would you put that in quotes, please?
I mean, we've, been plowing, well, we haven't plowed lately. Yeah, actually, we did plow Saturday. We had enough snow to plow here and there in places, but, we've been sanding, salting. Just waiting for the weather to break so we can get back out grading roads again. That's about it. Working on the equipment, and the grader is working again.
Good.
All it was a 50-cent part.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Wow.
I thought I blew a head gasket or something.
No, it was in the regen system. With this new exhaust system they have now, it burns off. And they have a procedure they have to do for warranty stuff. And they finally gave him permission to do what he wanted to do. And that's when he found the oil ring was bad, so. But at least I know we got new injectors, new injector sleeves, head valve cover gasket, and, so it's,
We love our grader.
We
Yeah.
do, huh?
and that's,
We do.
I'm a firm believer of the extended warranties.
Yes.
Yes.
Other than that, we're just waiting for things to break so we can get back out on the road. So.
Okay, thank you. We have the warrants to do, and would you like to take a crack at it, Richard? Because
They are here, right?
nope,
it's in the agenda.
just look at the agenda under the
Right there.
finance
That's
warrants.
the agenda right there. So if you, Dan, thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
I will say that I've looked through them and I'm satisfied, but, because I had a little time before the meeting tonight. And normally Gabby or Troy would read these as a motion. I move that we,
Okay, well,
Okay.
we're happy to learn.
so
our
there you
basis.
go.
Come on,
Right, somebody can do that and we'll start with the,
right on TV. Come on,
Yes.
Richard.
Okay, here we go. Payroll.
Well,
I
you
move
have to-
that we,
I
Yes.
move that we accept,
You pay
that we pay the payroll warrant. Do I need to?
week ending.
Week ending 3/19/17 in the amount of $6,619.91.
keep going.
And I move that we pay
Can it all be one
the
motion?
payroll warrant ending for week ending March 26th, 2017 in the amount of $7,025.65. I move that we pay the expense warrant number 1718 in the amount of $36,628.16. I also move that we pay the expense warrant number number FW18 in the amount of $62. And finally, I move that we pay the expense warrant number DP18 in the amount of $399.67 for a total in terms of warrants of $50,735.39.
And do I second
You
that?
could second
I
that.
would love to second that.
Oh, thank you.
motion. You did a lovely job, Richard.
Um,
So
all-
dignified around money.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So I'm just gonna pass these around.
And so while you are doing that, we received a notice, in communications, we received a notice of issuance of a wetland permit number 2016-544 from the Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation. Just a general communication and notification from their Watershed Management Division about a permit change.
More than one?
They send these out whenever they
And
arise.
so,
This one,
what am I to do with these?
So you need to sign where your
Oh,
name
oh,
is.
I see.
and then this.
Peter, excuse me, is it a wetland permit for something in particular or just a function of?
This is in continuation, this is the third one, I believe, that we've received regarding the GLC Powersmith Marjorie Evans Solar Project. This particular permit was approved on March 16th, 2017, and is for the further construction of the 252 kilowatt solar facility and associated access road and infrastructure, and it will impact 0 square feet of wetland, and will impact 2,300 square feet of buffer zone. It was found by the Agency of Natural Resources this conditional use will not result in any undue or adverse effects to the protected functions of the significant wetland located at 1401 Guilford Road in Guilford, Vermont. Further copies of our decision can be obtained at the web address below.
I have a question about it. I thought that the project is not finished then up there?
It is
No,
not.
this is
I know
the one
where
on
the
the
pub-
lower ground,
Oh, I see.
across the road from the
Oh.
farm, from the
Ah.
Evans farm. And this
So
was
this is just
necessitated
one
because
thing
they
to
couldn't
sign?
go
Yep,
through
there's one there.
another,
There
they couldn't
should
have
be a
another
second
route
Is there
one.
more?
to
Yes,
the
there should.
project.
No, there should be one other one.
I think you might be done there, that's
Yes.
I think that's it,
this one.
yeah.
So then it just goes on further to explain, Steve, just what part of the Vermont state statutes this comes from.
But it's a conditional permit, it's only for a certain amount of time,
So this one's done.
or is it forever?
This does not state anything about being conditional on here.
Okay.
How many panels are gonna be on that field?
They say 252 kilowatts, so whatever that entails.
How many is that, Steve?
A lot.
It is a big one.
So that whole field is
But
gonna be
it's-
covered with panels?
No, behind the hill,
Oh,
It's not very visible from,
or so they say, from the road.
it's above where the present panels are, where the new panels are, or below?
It's on the other side of the road, in
Yeah.
back of Harry Evans' farm, and across the road from the Marjorie Evans farm.
Okay. I
So,
know where it
and
is.
there's a, so as you're going down Guilford Center Road, it's on your right.
Yeah, but it's way behind.
It's hopefully way behind, yeah.
The only other relevant part about this, this notice is that any appeal to this decision must be filed with the environmental court within 30 days of the date of this decision.
What was the date?
I received this last Wednesday, I believe. I would have to look up the email from the state to inform you what the date is.
Yeah, I only asked for my floodplain administrator hat on, because there has to be a buffer up against something back here. But
Approved on 3/16, March 16th, 2017.
Oh, okay,
So,
Thanks.
which I already read. And
yeah,
Yeah.
we just didn't.
Who signed it?
Laura LaPierre, the Wetland Program Manager from the Department of Environmental Conservation.
Thanks.
The telephone number is 802-828-1660.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, 1535. 828-1535. I apologize.
The other one's Domino's Pizza.
No, the other one was the environmental court, not the environmental management.
Okay, thank you.
So, is there any other business before the board? Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
I so move.
7:27 PM, second?
Yes, I second it.
Because that's what you're doing tonight, is seconding Miranda, thank you.
No, I just.
She's a good second.
She's not
She's not bad at
fast on
first
the draw
either.
as you are. All in
No,
favor?
I'm in favor.
Aye.
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 Thank you. So,
I know.
meeting adjourned at 7:27
I
PM.
mean, Richard and I are.
Next meeting on the 10th of April.
Now, about the.
After-